Bonjour, and we are back in La Forêt for another episode of World Hopping. So, the main idea for this episode, it's number 3, I think, for that world. It's to focus a bit more on the forest part, but maybe less on the weird part of the forest, more on the regular one here. And also I've some clips I've done before with my eldest nephew. Was there at the end of August, and he made a couple of SIMS for the village, and I built a house for one of them. Also, I had a comment from Marlena, who had a few ideas also for other characters. I'm not sure yet how I'm going to have them, introduce them now from Beauty and the Beast. So I don't have the Beast castle. I'm not planning on having it. I'm going to have one castle-like house here, and it's going to be not for a good guy. It's for Bluebeard, the vampire. We'll see what I can add to that episode, because when I'm doing this series, it's usually different clips I've filmed at different moments, and then I bind them all together in a mismatch episode with somewhat of a theme stamped onto it. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, the idea is to work a bit more on the forest over there, and let's start with that. So something I have added since last episode is that small waterfall here. It's actually from beautiful stream set that I've used in SIMS, in my version of SIMS. And it's this one here I'm using. I might use this one. It might be a bit big. I'm not sure. So I'm using this here, and of course I'll link the page below where you can find the items. And it's very cool because it's way smaller. So there is one from the game, but the one from the game is bigger, and also there are 2 pieces, and one is way big, I think, and the other one is not flat, and it's very long, and it's a bit difficult to manipulate so that you have it exactly as you wish. But this one here is also the one I've used in the village. So I've actually used only that piece here in the village. So that's an object. It's not real. Well, real. It's not. The Sims, they're not going to consider it water. So I'm going to use that in the forest so that I can have a small brook they can cross, like a ford. So they can, maybe with pretend rocks. So the idea is, I put that here, thinking that here the brook the stream could go there. So let's see. So river, water. So this one is from the game. As you can see, it's big. So I'm going to use this one. It's water, river. Okay. So this one is not big, and I can... Oh, what are you doing here? You move to another layer. Trees. Okay, so here we are. Where is it? So that you get the feeling that it goes maybe underground afterward. So the idea would be to do something like that, and then I'm going to sculpt the terrain so that it looks like a small brook, so the ford here. So I'll playtest that in game. Hopefully the Sims will be able to cross it. So that's the thought for now. I'm going to add more. Also, I'm not sure I'm going to keep a waterfall here. I might have the stream be a bit longer and have a spring somewhere. It's going to be a little brook winding up. Should have started where the spring is supposed to be, but I don't know yet where it's going to be. So that's the end of the river here, the little brook over there that ends here, and I'm going to add a few more things. Before adding too much, I would like to play test the path, the trail here. So I need to get in game to test and see if the Sims can walk there or if they are going to be blocked by the item, because this is an object. So I've added an invisible path there, so they should be able to. We'll see. Yeah, I wanted to add one more texture because I've seen it. So it's one from Nilxis, and I'm thinking this one. I'd like to use it here and see if it works for what I have in mind. And so that's autumn leaves. I'm thinking this one should match what I have in mind, so we'll see. There are lots of gorgeous textures here. I really like, these ones I'm going to talk about them in another episode because I've used these at least in Campus, and also I've used a couple of the water textures in other worlds. I haven't used this one. I could have the street detail because I've got one, but it's very pretty. I do have it already in my game. Add layer. Leaves. What's the sounds going to be? I don't know. Not really. Could be mulch. Okay. For lack of better one, I'm going to pick this one. And then textures. And I've put it there. And it is this one. Okay, so let's try and see how it looks like if I add like a few bits like that. Could do more like it's pretty. I like it. So this one is I made a clover one. Clover, well, it's based on one from on this one, I think, if I remember well. So yeah, it's pretty similar. So it's based on this one. I wanted a Cloverfield texture, so based it on this one and had the red green. I wanted a rather bright green, lush green here. So here we go. I can add fallen leaves here and there. So I'm thinking I'll do that and paint a bit more the terrain. I'm going to play test it before I change anything there. And yeah, I'm thinking, and I'm not going to work more on the waterfall. I'm thinking the stream is going to be longer. I can add a bit more. It would look good, I think, in the forest. It would dress up a bit more the forest there. And yeah, so I'm not done with the different plants either. Just I want to play test it before. So that was Alphonse Danta crossing the stream, the little brook there, and well, who is Alphonse? So that's a perfect segue. He's a sim my nephew made back in end of August, beginning of September. He was there for a few days, and he actually created 2 different households. One of them was the veterinarian. So it's a lady inspired by a cartoon he likes. And then the other one was Alphonse. So he wanted to have, to create an inventor. And he took inspiration from Beauty and the Beast, the animated movie, and from Belle's dad. And then he also wanted a house, so I sketched for him the house from Beauty and the Beast as I remembered it. And so he was like, okay, let's do that. And so we went with that. So I'm going to insert a few clips from when he made the two households, and then a very speed build of the house, but quick one. And then I'll see you on the other side.
Hello, I'm Mr. Chi, and today I'm going to make an inventor.
So we have a basic sim and his cat, and he's going to change everything to make them look like what he wants to have there. So, you still don't know what name?
Alors, c'est Ivan, c'était une bonne idée, en vrai.
Ivan, tu veux? Ivan Thor. Non, c'est pourri,
Mais Thor comme Thor.
Thor. Oui, mais il y a un H en
Ouais,
anglais,
ouais.
ça fait Thor.
Ah.
Au lieu de Thor.
Ah ouais.
Ça te va,
pas
ça?
mal, ouais.
On l'a créé elle, on lui fait un chien, du coup?
Ah, elle?
Et alors, on l'a là, Donna la papate. Et elle est young adult. Ok, et on en a un trait pour le moment. Animal lover. Donc elle, là.
Ouais.
Ok. Donc il a vu sur la cascade, Alphonse. Il a cette vue-là. Ça va être un peu bruyant chez lui, hein. Voilà, constamment ça.
Bah, en plus, il y a un moulin.
Peut-être qu'il aimera bien, hein. Faut pas qu'elle soit grosse dormeuse.
En vrai, si, un gars.
Ça peut être rigolo, justement, la nuit, elle oublie de se réveiller. Tous ses copains loups-garous sont réveillés. Il est en train de ronfler.
Ouais, c'est bien.
Où est Donna?
Ah.
Donc. Ah, pourquoi je l'ai mis 2 fois?
Il va avoir 2 fois, il va être 2 fois.
Non, bon, on va le virer. On fait ça.
Oui,
et
ça
tu
fait...
fais,
oui, ça fait
tu fais
vraiment
ça. Oui. Je sais pas si j'ai viré la bonne bête. Si ça se trouve, ils se connaissent pas. Sinon,
ça bête.
Ce serait dommage, ils ont plein d'amitié entre eux et
Non,
Et-
pas du tout.
ils ont une grande histoire entre eux. Il faut qu'on change son nom. On va voir si elle la connaît. Non, il la connaît pas, c'était pas le bon chat. Maintenant, ils se connaissent. Son meilleur ami, son best buddies. Ok. On lui change son nom. Alors, on va aller dans Basic. C'est pas dans Basic. Ça va être dans Advanced. Ah, c'est pas là non plus. C'est intermédiaire. Ah, écoute, je me rappelle plus. Community. Rename. Oh, tu vois, c'est là.
Ah, c'est pas...
Alphonse. On va regarder comment ça s'écrit surtout. Dans le tas, on met un accent. Je crois que j'avais mis un E. Mais ça fait bien avec un A, non?
Oui, ça fait bien.
Comme ça, il y a 2 A, un à chaque bout. C'est un peu géométrique. Non, symétrique! Symétrique, c'est ce que je voulais dire. Je voulais dire symétrique. Emoji, Alphonse dans le tas.
Et donc, belle.
Regarde, ça, j'avais un gros. Mais bon, peut-être pas celui-là, hein.
Non, non.
On va voir. Et je sais pas si j'en ai un petit. On va voir selon la tête de la maison, peut-être que ça fera bien. Et elle est où ma roue? Oh non, c'est pas celle-là, c'est la très grosse. Donc c'est pour le gros moulin à eau
Ah oui.
qui est là-bas. Donc ça, c'est la grosse. Parce que la maison, il est là, regarde. Alors, on remarque qu'il est pas beaucoup plus petit, hein. C'est énorme.
énorme.
Ah mince, elle est du mauvais côté. Je crois, hein. Je sais jamais dans
Oui,
quel
si,
côté
si,
ça roule. Ça, c'est censé être dans un mur?
Non, je pense pas.
Non, bon alors voilà. Regarde, on peut la mettre comme ça. Un peu grand, mais là, il y aura la maison. Un chouïa plus grosse.
C'est la même taille.
Petit peu plus grosse. Plus grande, plus haute.
Plus grande,
plus
mais
haute.
moins large.
Ouais, bon. Ça te va?
Oui.
so here is the house right now. I keep changing it. The roof keeps changing color. I adjust it differently because I wanted more space in between those two floors. So there is a floor here actually, and the lot is bigger than when I started building the house. At the same time, it's a bit isolated. So let me pause 1 second, and I'll introduce you to the household. So for right now, this is Alphonse. We settle on that name because it's a pun with an expression of French idiom, foncer dans le tas, which means going full throttle. We kept changing the spelling of his last name, so I don't know if we're going to stick with this one. We'll see. And yeah, he's heavily inspired by Belle's father in Beauty and the Beast in the animated movie. And then instead of having Belle, we have Belle Bête, which is another pun. Belle Bête means, well, so literally beautiful beast. And yeah, that's the cat's name. And right now, he's not going to have a daughter, but some of my nieces were there during fall break, and they would like to add another member to the family, so we'll see. There is room in the house. Let's have a quick look at the house, which again I'm changing it like all the time, so it's not the finished version, but close to it. I need to redo that area because with constrained floor elevation, sometimes there is issue with the flooring, and you have floating tiles like that. But yeah, you need to redo that. But as I've said, the house is very much inspired by the one from Beauty and the Beast, the animated movie. But of course, in an animated movie, it goes, the inside sometimes doesn't match the outside. So here I had to work around it. So here we go. So that's the main room over there. There is a fireplace. So it's not, I haven't really decorated inside. Just placed a few ideas where that could be, this or that could be. And this is the main room with an access to the kitchen here. And that door here leads to that back area over there. A ladder here that leads to the, I was going to say the dad's, but he's not a father here. So to Alphonse's laboratory? No, not really. Tinkering room. And then he's an inventor. There's a staircase here, so it leads upstairs to that opening over there. So that's the area where I'm being grumpy about it, but it's in the house in Beauty and the Beast. But that is not French at all. We don't have that here. So every time I see it, I'm like, nope. But it was in a characteristic of the original house, so I've kept it. And then the mailbox is floating over there, so I'm going to place it there. I've just placed back the house after doing some modifications in Cradle Wall, so that's why it's like that. So the wheel here with a small tree, and then let's go back inside, go upstairs. So the staircase, at first I had placed it there, but I think here it's better because we have, okay, so it's not really visible like that. But if I do that, if I have the walls down, you can see there is a room here, and I'm thinking that's where the bathtub could be. Like when there's not going really to have a bathroom, so they have a all-in-one bathroom over there from the stuff bag, like the movie stuff bag. Yeah, so if they want to take a bath here, or if he gets a niece, that's a high possibility. The girls are wearing me down on that. Like, he might have her sleep here instead of there. We'll see. Because there is the stove here, and this is the bedroom, the main bedroom. And yeah, I think it's big enough. So that's actually a nice bedroom for that house, which is quite atypical. Here is the house over there. So it's a bit noisy, as we noticed, because the waterfall is just behind it. And actually that waterfall, I haven't really done the landscaping around it, just a few rocks, because I wanted to be sure that they could walk behind it, and they can. Oh, you know what? Let's have... Oh, there is a food truck here. Okay. The new brook over there. So, Alphonse's house is there. The waterfall is there. We'll follow Alphonse. Is going to go to the brook over there. So, let's follow him. Oh, here he is. So, where are you going to go? Which way? Yes. So while he's coming over, I can show you what I've done here. I've changed it a bit, so I made it longer and have like as if it's like a spring here. And I'm going to put rocks over there so that it looks a bit more like underground before. And then, oh, here he is, crossing the ford here. So it's a bit deep in here, but yeah, nothing that would put him in danger. Also, he's small. He's very small. So that's going to be it for this episode. I'll see you. I don't know what town it should be, what world we'll visit next time in world hopping. It's going to be something different, but we'll see. And I'm going to continue this one anyway. So I've been working on it a bit more. I'll show you in the next episode about this one, about this world. And there are a few incoming makeovers in the meantime. And I'll see you in the next video. À bientôt!